good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Unique Couples. Happy Sunday. Please come on in, subscribe to the Unique Couples YouTube channel right now. Just come on in, like, share. We want everyone to hop on and enjoy this great talk we have planned for you today. Well, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Coach Deborah D. Smith, and I hail all the way from Jacksonville, Florida. So I am super excited to be here today with our special guest, and I'm going to introduce her in just a second. But we want you to come on in here and subscribe, and share. And during the broadcast, if you have questions or comments, please put them in the chat because we love questions. And our guest will make sure that she answers your questions. If it's something for unique couples, then Linda will take care of those as well in the chat. And we want to make sure that you connect with Vito and Linda in the exclusive Unique Couples private group and take your relationship to another level. You'll get daily marriage tips and activities to do with your spouse. Check out the link below. Make sure you put in the comments #club. That's CLUB, #club. All right, now there are limited spots available, so make sure that you register today, and that is #club. Now, without any further ado, I want to get to our guests because I can't wait to see all my holiday decorations. Well, hey, we have Miss Therell Smith from Freeport, Bahamas. And you know, the holidays are coming up fast, and we just go wow when the holiday comes. But Therell is going to help us. She's going to give us some healthy habits for the holidays. How are you doing this evening, Therell?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. It's so good to be on with you, Coach Deborah.
Also glad to have you on behalf of Vito and Linda. Well, first, we got to let everybody know about you while they get settled in and get finished sharing or whatever. But can you go ahead and tell us all about you? Tell us when you met your spouse, when you got married, where you're from, how many children you have, and what you do for a living.
All right.
You want to tell us.
All right. So because it's Unique Couples, I'll start off with my story of my husband first. I'm married 13 years now. Awesome. My husband is Therell Smith, the handsome debonair in my life. And we've known each other our entire lives, reconnected again when we were in New Providence, both living and working there, and got married in 2009. We now have two beautiful children, Skylar and Kyrie. She's 11, he's 7. And we are living in Grand Bahama once again. I'm a registered nurse by profession, and I have journeyed through the public healthcare system, now working in the private healthcare system. And I love talking about things that empower our community to be healthier people. I love being involved in initiatives that do the same. And so thus I'm here this evening, I guess. Linda pulled me in for that reason. I'm currently employed at Lucayan's Family Care as the nurse administrator there. That's awesome. Just a little bit about me.
Wow. Seems like you're busy.
Yes.
Well, we are excited to hear more about you, and congratulations on your 13 years because that is a beautiful thing.
Thank you. It is, especially in today's culture, it is a feat to celebrate every anniversary as a happy couple.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Well, Therell, tell us, why did you decide to enter into the helping profession?
Well, my story is an interesting one. I'm not like most nurses that always knew they wanted to be a nurse. I knew that my career path would take me in something that helped people, but I was never sure exactly what it was. I think I even completed most of my college applications with an ambiguous something related to social work or healthcare or psychology even. I'm not sure which direction I would take And one day, we were in 12th grade. Actually, Vito and I graduated from the great Freeport Anglican High School together. And I think maybe our last assembly, a nurse came by and she shared a story. It was Nurses Month, so it must have been me. And she shared a story of how she became a nurse and how much of a lovely profession it was and how she was just enjoying being a nurse. And I thought to myself, maybe I can do that. So I started off at COB in nursing in 1998, September. And then life happened and I kind of went on a rebellious phase and I changed my career path. I left nursing and studied sociology, completed my sociology degree, then went back to nursing. And all these years later, I have accumulated 2 degrees in nursing and now a master's in healthcare administration. So obviously my gift made room for me. I knew that I would always be in the profession to care for people. I was always the one in high school. If anybody needed a tea bag, I had it. Anybody needed Panadols, I had it. Band-Aids, I also had those. I had extra sanitary napkins if you needed them. I was always the friend's child that stayed with my mom's friends during their illnesses and so on. So it was always my gift to care for people. And naturally, that is what I do. So yeah, my gift made room for me. I could not outrun nursing as a profession.
Yeah, I was going to say you couldn't run from it, huh?
No.
Yes, and I love. Well, I have a platform, Build Your Best Life, and it's about, being your best. And I like that, you didn't just get the credentials that you needed for nursing, but you can tell that is your passion and you love it because you went on and on, getting your master's degree. So that is wonderful.
Yes, I tell people nursing is a profession like education, like pastoring, anything related to, being hands-on with people's lives. If you are not passionate about it, if it's not something you feel God has called you to do, we play a duofold. We're in a ministry that it's a ministry and it's a profession. So it's a ministry first. If you don't feel as if it's a ministry for you, then please exit stage left. Go find what God called you to do. Because obviously patients will suffer and then our name gets tattered as healthcare professionals, So yeah, I'm of that belief. It has to be a ministry first.
Oh, I love that so much. Now you hit a button for me because I'm a big advocate of customer service, customer care. And, sometimes I'll say, I just don't get it. I wish that in certain professions, not anyone could get in. So like nursing, somebody that a doctor or somebody that has to speak with people in the public, they don't need to be able to just get the job because they may have the credentials. They need to have that spirit to go along with it and that passion.
Correct.
It's nothing like being sick and you're trying to get help and somebody's nasty to you,
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. All right. So let's move on. So how do you treat yourself during the holidays?
Well, first of all, the holidays is a big deal for us. I think our big holiday is Christmas. Mm-hmm. And we treat ourselves, we indulge during the Christmas time in a lot of things. We're going to get into that conversation. But for Christmas time, I treat myself as I would for most of the year. I have taken the stance, and my family has as well, that, it's not our birthday. That's the first thing. Mm-hmm. So it's not my birthday. It's none of my children's birthday, not my husband's birthday. We had our birthdays earlier this year. We celebrated the birth of Christ. And so to keep focus on that, we remind ourselves constantly through devotions and through conversation that Christmas is the time that we set aside to focus on Jesus. And so treating ourselves is a little bonus that we have. I always give the analogy that if it's my birthday, you don't show up to my birthday party and be upset because you didn't get a gift, that there were no special foods prepared for you. It's not your birthday. So that's the way that I treat the holidays.
Yes. I love it. Christmas is a very special holiday. I really, really love it. And that's what I get to, splurge on my grandkids. Nobody can say, well, you can't do this and you can't do that.
Right.
Because they never know what I have until Christmas Eve.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, well, I mentioned earlier, we just go wild when the holidays come. We get to just spend. Some people just spend, spend, spend. We go to this dinner, to that party, to that brunch, to this person's house and that person's house. So we can just like overindulge in all types of areas.
Right.
How can we maintain healthy habits during the holidays?
Well, the first thing you can do is, well, we have to acknowledge that the holidays bring the good and the bad, right?
Right.
And so the holidays have a time, it tends to exacerbate things that are underlying in some instances. And in some instances, it starts something new, right? So for instance, the healthy habits we can do are those traditions that we have with our family, whether that's cookie baking or just getting together for game night, doing the potlucks, those type things. Of course, keep the traditions going because the holidays can exacerbate things like grief. If you've lost loved ones during the year or prior, the holidays tend to shine a spotlight on those people that are missing. And so it's good to get together with your family. It's good to share and still make memories, even in the absence of those persons that would have passed on. So that's one healthy habit, definitely, that my family and I keep going. We have a cookie day that we do with one of our very close friends and her kids. And so we bake cookies and we try to share the cookies out, of course, not to allow them to linger in the house. And, just try to make memories with our family. Don't allow the holidays to consume you. It's finances can get worse when January comes in, especially for government employees that are paid early in the month. You just go ahead and I have this money and I'm buying gifts, and then the bills come at the end of the month because the bill date don't change. Right. The date that the bills are due do not change. Okay, so I always, when I worked for the government, I would leave that money there until the bills are due as like normal. So you have to set a pattern for yourself. Don't overdo with the eating, of course. Oh Lord. We eat. I had a friend who told me the other day, she's like, Therell, I'm going to the gym. I go on right up until the beginning of the week of Christmas. She's like, because I have plenty extra calories to burn before I start indulging. And so that's good. You know that you plan for something. So it's important to know to thy own self be true. We know we're not going to go anywhere and refuse food. That's the first thing. So you're going to have lots of work events and church events and family events with lots of food. So you have to budget and plan. Budget and plan for your finances, budget and plan for your emotional tank, and budget and plan for your nutrition.
Yes. Yep, that is a good tip because we know without a shadow of a doubt that we're going to indulge in some good food.
Yes, we will. And for Bahamians, you guys have Thanksgiving. That's an official holiday. Mm-hmm. For Bahamians, we adopted Thanksgiving because we love food. So everybody goes to work. But by now, the Thanksgiving dinners are out. The tickets are out. And so everybody's planning on what they're going to eat from Thanksgiving, who they're going to eat from for Thanksgiving, only because we just love food, Coach Deborah. If this holiday was like any other holiday in the U.S., like Martin Luther King holiday that didn't involve food, we'd be like, oh, yeah, it's a holiday over there. But no, it's a holiday for us too. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Maybe people don't know it. Thanksgiving even being in the Bahamian culture. All we know is we get to eat turkey, ham, stuffing, yams, all those things early.
All right.
That's our stomach preparation for Christmas.
Okay, so at least I know if I have to travel to the Bahamas during Thanksgiving, I won't miss out.
You won't miss out. Trust me, somebody gonna be throwing it down. You can
All
get a
right.
plate. Yes.
And I heard about that Bahamian macaroni and cheese.
Oh
Somebody told me
Lord.
that used to die for.
We're gonna get into that in the next conversation. Because let me tell you, Bahamian macaroni and cheese is a meal within itself. It has all of the food groups required. And so you could just have macaroni and Bahamian macaroni and cheese and be done with dinner.
Okay. All right. Well, what are 5 tips for staying fit during the holidays? I know your friend said, about working out before,
right.
But, during the holidays, how can someone stay fit?
Well, when we say stay fit, I think of staying healthy, right? And you can only stay healthy if you are healthy. So staying healthy means that you have to know if you are healthy. So we're winding down to the end of 2022. And by now, if you have not had your annual physical for the year, you definitely should be scheduling it to have it before December 25th rolls around. Okay? Because you should know your numbers going into the holiday. You should know your numbers going into the end of the year because you are going to cheat. There's no need. I tell people when they come to me, diabetics, hypertensive patients, like, listen, don't tell me you have a well-balanced diet during the holidays because we know it's not true. Okay? You're going to cheat. So you need to know what leeway you have to cheat. You need to know what your numbers are. You need to know. And the only way to know is by visiting your general care practitioner and having a physical with the lab works and blood pressure checks and glucose readings and all those things. So we know where we stand going into the holiday. We can't stay healthy if we are already unhealthy. That's the first thing, right? The second thing is don't go hopping to everybody's house for food, people. Okay? There's no need to do that because what end up happening, Coach Deborah, most times, the fridge is piled up with leftovers. Okay? And Bahamians will say, child, I go on so-and-so for a plate of food, but I have to cook my own food because I like my own food. So they cook their own food, plus they token from everybody else. It's completely and absolutely unnecessary, folks. Okay? Only so much food you could eat. That's the first thing. And one thing we know as healthcare professionals is we do see a rise in communicable diseases during this time. So when we say communicable diseases, we're talking about food poisoning because you don't know how everybody cooking and preparing their food.
That's right.
You know how you preparing your food. You know the measures you're going to ensure that your turkey is maintained at the right temperature, that your potato salad is put in the fridge once it's prepared. You know those measures, but you don't know the measures that everybody else is going through. So you have a lot of AGE, which is acute gastroenteritis, where people end up with vomiting and diarrhea after the holidays because they've been eating and they can't even narrow it down because they've been eating so many places. Right? So that's one. So that's I think that's 2 tips I gave you just now. Know your numbers, prepare your own meals. Additionally, don't forget that even though we're out of COVID, communicable diseases pick up during this time of the year. So we have flu, we have monkeypox. We haven't heard much of it, thank God. We had a cholera incident the other day. So definitely you want to wash your hands. You want to be wary of which areas, which gatherings you're going to, where the gatherings are. Still maintain some degree of social distance because most of the communicable diseases that we see during this time are passed on by these 2 things and by this one vessel. So our hands and our mouth. Right? So the flu, of course, through droplet secretions, through people sneezing and coughing into their hands, touching surfaces, and so on. So still walk with your sanitizer. That's a habit that we should not leave in the pandemic. Walk with your sanitizer in those instances where you feel uncomfortable. Wear your mask. It's nothing wrong. No judgment. Wear your mask. Feel free to wear your mask. Another principle that I want to share that I maintain during the holidays is don't drink your calories. I maintain this for the entire year. I do not drink my calories because drinks have large amounts of calories, the sweet ones especially that we love. And the Bahamian household feel like Christmas is incomplete without a case of Vitamalt. And Vitamalt has 2 times the amount of sugar as a regular soda. Okay, so of course, those type of things, if you're going to treat yourself to a soda or treat yourself to even an alcoholic beverage, you should remember that the calories in those are extremely high in most instances. And so, you pace yourself. If you're going to have a Vitamalt, then you don't need potato salad, macaroni, and yams on the plate. And you don't need to eat everything all together. That's my next point. You don't have to eat everything that's on the buffet one time. Okay? Because we usually do a spread where Annie so-and-so bake yams and macaroni. The next one she does potato salad and crab salad. Then we, of course, can't have Christmas without a big pot of peas and rice. And the peas and rice usually have salt beef or ham or some kind of other meat in it, which is another meal in itself. So you have to balance yourself and maintain the idea that you're going to eat several times during the day. You can split those carbohydrate portions. You can have a plate with salad and maybe a slice of macaroni and cheese and meat now. And then later you can have the peas and rice and a slice of turkey, so you can pace your calories throughout the day. The carbohydrates are what kill us during the holiday seasons in terms of bad nutrition. And what ends up happening, Coach Deborah, is that in January, those diabetics and those hypertensives, their numbers are completely out of range, right? So we want to manage our calories well. We don't want to overdo ourselves with eating everything one time. It's not a competition. We don't have to have I don't know if you know the song. There's a Bahamian song, 5 pieces of chicken, macaroni and cheese, roast beef, pork chop, rice, and black-eyed peas. She had stew, kong, crack, kong salad too. Potatoes.
Wow.
So we don't have, it's not a competition. We don't have to see how high we can pile the plate. But the objective is, of course, to balance our meals, balance our calories, whether that's through drinks or through food throughout the holiday seasons. And of course, you want to plan your meals. So if you're cooking, you want to write your list of what you're preparing and specifically what you need when you go to the grocery store. And I have a very good colleague. She gives a principle of shopping. She says, shop on the periphery of the store. Everything good you need is on the periphery of the store. So you have your vegetables and fruits, and then you have your dairy products and your poultry, and you go right around to the frozen vegetables section. That's everything you need. Everything in the middle of the store are the things we shouldn't have. Right. All the canned items, all of the potato chips and the baking goods.
Right.
And so shop the periphery of the store first, and then you go to the middle of the store to pick up those items that you really, really need from there. But the periphery of the store really is where we should keep most of our focus when shopping. Mm-hmm. And the type of persons know, if I prepare meals, I can live without rice. And so I can cook a Thanksgiving dinner and you will not miss the rice from the plate, because I'll have a nice salad and I'll have some maybe sweet potatoes and my meat and vegetables, of course, in different varieties and styles, whether that's a casserole or some cream spinach, whatever. Those are things. All I can find if you think about it, I can find the ingredients for all of those items right on the exterior of the store. Right. So it's all about eye gratification too. I think for us as Black people, if we see a full plate of food, we're happy. So don't leave any gaps in the plate fill the plate with veggies and then add those other things in the middle. And once we look at the plate and we see a plate full of food, we're happy.
Right. And try to eat it all. Yeah, we Coach Ricardo and I were talking about that. You have that thing on your plate and you can just be stuffed. I mean, you don't think you can take another bite, but you look down and it's something that's your favorite food. You can have 2 servings of it on your plate. You're going to eat it.
Yeah.
That's something I love. I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
Last Sunday, and I cooked, and I had rice, and then I told my husband, I said, well, I'm not cooking. It's just he and I. I said, I'm not going to cook any bread. You want bread? Well, I'll just make me some cornbread. So then he said, well, I found some rolls. You want a roll? I said, if I got rice, I'm not going to eat a roll.
Right. Right.
But, it's those habits. But you really gave us some good pointers. I really, really love them. But, and it's true. You go to different houses and you just might be going to drop off a gift or whatever, but they're going to say, oh, get something. And so you go in there, you get something, and so you look and you got a whole refrigerator full of stuff. Okay, now, and then you really don't know when it was cooked. Now,
no.
Because they could have cooked it 2 days before the holiday, 3 days before. They could have cooked it a week before and put it in the freezer.
Correct.
So you don't know.
No.
So it's like you said, eat at your own risk, because there's so many different things going around nowadays until I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think preparing meals during the holidays for yourself can be a good family tradition as well, allowing the kids to become involved in the meal preparation, and, everybody gets to spend time in the kitchen at some point, just doing it together.
Yeah. And you gave us a lot of great tips, and I'm not going to linger, but one I do want to point out, because I have the same feelings you do, and that's about COVID and those different illnesses that, are communicable. People don't realize, if I'm not feeling well, like I haven't been feeling really well for the last 3 weeks. So I work with children. And our church just released no mask, but I wore my mask, and I let them know. I have on my mask because I don't feel well. I don't know what I have. I know I don't have COVID, but I don't know what I have.
Exactly.
And I said, I'm not going to try to help y'all. I'm going to sit back, and then I'll go up and teach, but I'm not going to be all over everybody, And a lot of people won't do that. They know they're sick. They'll go in the store, they're coughing, they're not putting their hand up to their faces. But, like you were saying about sanitizing things, COVID taught me a lot. Right. You get holiday packages now, you got to get some sanitizing rags to go out there and wipe them down. And you look at those things, and you're like, my goodness, I didn't know these things, but it's full of filth. Not to mention the germs, but just the filth, Yeah,
yeah.
And, the buggies in the store. So I still keep something to wipe those off, because the store stopped providing those. So you have to be cognizant to do things that you know are healthy for you and your family.
Correct.
So
correct. The worst feeling is to be sick during the holidays, Coach Deborah. I've had my share of it, being just, whether it was the stomach flu or the flu itself, just being down during the holidays and watching everybody go out and leave you at home sick.
Yeah, that's not.
So we should all be trying to do our part to protect each other,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we really appreciate the tips. So I hope you all out there have your pads and pens are writing this down. But if you did not write it down, and if you tuned in late, feel free to go back. The video will still be up, and you can view it in its entirety, because Therell has given us some great information to help us through these holidays and beyond, really.
Right.
Yeah. So how can families stay healthy during, you kind of really answered this, but how can families stay healthy during Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all the other holidays? What's anything else that you can add that will help?
Well, as a nurse, I focus on the whole being. And so a lot of times we're struggling with whether it be emotional struggles or illnesses or money problems. They intensify during the holiday season. And so as far as dealing with our emotional struggles, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of families and a lot of people go through really, really sad and hard times during the holidays because they've lost loved ones that mean so much to them and they cherish. So one of the things I would suggest is just find a way to memorialize that person, to remember them during the holidays, get together and share and talk. A lot of times we feel as if we don't say anything, I'm suffering in silence because if I say something, it may trigger something in someone else and then I make them sad. And sometimes you realize that when you get beyond that fear and you actually open up, that the other person is just as longing to talk about it as you are, just as longing to remember them, to say, hey, I miss her or him so much during this time. Boy, if she was here, we would have been doing, whatever. And it's therapeutic to talk about it, to be open about your grief and your loss. Especially with those that would have also cherished and remembered them as well. So that's one way that I believe is very important for the families to do during the time. The other thing is to plan your budget. Plan your budget for December. Know how much you have to spend. Listen, I was with a friend the other day and she was ordering what she said was sweet treats for the holiday. And this bill was up into the $200. I was like, how much cake can you have in your house? For the holiday season, is that even healthy? I'm not going to do that because I don't care who stops by. Maybe you get a cookie, but I'm not buying a cheesecake and a carrot cake and a pound cake and a chocolate cake all to have just so you can have an option. The aim is to say you too like to eat. You too like to eat, not only so much you can have. Most persons in our community, we know that first of all, we struggle with obesity. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, we struggle with all of the diseases that come along with obesity and bad lifestyle. So we are hypertensive or diabetic. We have bad cholesterol problems. So you need to help your colleagues along. Help your friends who will be stopping in for the holidays. They stopping in, give them a bottle of water. How about that? Offer them, would you like a drink of water? That's all I have to offer you this year. And praise God as we come through the pandemic and the after Dory. And, it's just a blessing to see the ones we love. Right. And so, if you leave my house with only a bottle of water, that's we got to see each other. We got to say hello, Yeah. Money problems, of course, we talk about that. And illnesses, like I said at the beginning, know, what you're walking into the holidays with. Where your numbers are so you can help each other along, plan together, plan to share the calories together, instead of you cooking everything on Christmas Day just so you can have your own parts of everything. Decide that you're going to get together with family. I don't think we've done that enough in the last year. COVID has put a kind of dent on our gatherings, but I think for family time is so important. To share the calories, let everybody potluck. And then at the end of the day, whatever's left over, that's what everybody takes home. And that's leftovers for everyone for the day, for the next day. And be easy on yourselves during the Christmas time. I made a post recently about being easy on yourself. A lot of times, especially as females, Coach Deborah, we have so many demands on us, demands from work, our social life. The church has its demands on us to, be prepared for the holidays and children out to rehearsals and it's a lot. Be easy on yourself during this time. Be gracious to yourself. Give yourself a breather. Take time to just sit and woosah. Don't spend the entire Christmas Eve into Christmas Day in the kitchen. If you know that cooking is not your passion like me, I cook because I know my family has to eat. So I need to try to meal prep and plan, so that I'm not consumed in the kitchen. And then by Christmas Day, I'm miserable and mad and vexed with everybody. You have to prepare unto your own self be true. If you know that's not your talent, your favor, you don't enjoy singing and dancing in the kitchen straight through the Christmas Day, then don't do it.
Right.
Don't do it. And of course, we just want to remember that Jesus, I know it sounds so cliche, but Jesus is truly the reason for the season. So find time to remember him with your family and remind the children and on each other of why we actually come to this point of having a holiday on the 25th of December. All of these decorations and celebrations that we have, remember that he is absolutely the reason for the season. And we should be so grateful for him coming into the world to bring us salvation. And we know the controversies that exist around whether or not December was the month that Jesus was born and all these things. This is the time that we set aside on our calendars to remember that time and to be grateful to God for it.
That's right. Awesome information. And yes, first and foremost, we should always remember that Jesus is the reason for the season. So we need to take that 5 minutes or 10 minutes to get our Bibles and read that Christmas story to our children and our grandchildren. Let them know what it is. And, as we focus on that more, maybe we won't worry so much about the other things. We worry about the eating and the gifts and the toys, and we forget about Jesus a lot of times. So that was a great tip. Okay.
Yes, I think we get distracted, and it's the intent of the enemy, to distract us from the reason why we celebrate, to get us consumed and walking into the new year feeling defeated because we spent all the money, we ate too much food, we didn't get to go as many parties as we would have liked to, whatever. It's the plan of the enemy to distract us during this time, and so we have to stay focused as believers and ensure that our kids remain focused as well.
Yes, most definitely. Yeah, so thank you for that information. Great tips. And especially too, with the emotional health, that is a big one now because we have more and more people, and especially our young people, we have more of them that are suffering from depression and low self-esteem. So, and if you've ever lost a loved one, you know how it can feel to have lost someone, and then it might be your first holiday without them, or, something that they did special on a certain holiday. And so that holiday just you want to have fun and joy, but it's hard not to remember them and what they did to that day.
Correct. Yeah. And it's okay to remember, the tears are therapeutic at times. Sometimes you feel that ball of grief that's building up inside, and we just trying to suppress it, and you just check on your loved ones during the holidays, like, how are you? How are you making it through? I've been thinking about her or him for a little while now, and it opens up the door for conversation. And sometimes the tears will flow. Sometimes you'll laugh at the memories.
Yes.
But you have to have them. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yes. Thanks for that. Well, right now I'm going to take a little shift to the left and promote our Unique Couples Marriage Club. As Vito and Linda share how to stay motivated, inspired, and transformed in your marriage as you intentionally, we'll say that again, as you intentionally, you can't just sit back in a marriage and think everything's going to just jump together. You have to intentionally work on loving your spouses. So if you want to learn more about their exclusive marriage club and get discounts to Unique Couples in person and virtual events, please type #club in the chat. That's #CLUB club in the chat. And be sure to register for the Unique Couples Marriage Club today. Don't wait till next week. Today. All right. This has been so much fun. See, she told us we were going to have fun.
She did.
So we're getting ready to close out. Therell, can you please tell our audience how they can connect with you on social media?
So I'm Therell Smith on Facebook and Therell Smith on Instagram. And if you DM me on Instagram and I don't respond, please know that it's not personal. I'm just learning the Instagram thing. I'm trying to get a handle on people following me. So Facebook is the best way to reach out to me. Also, I'm always available at Lucayan's Family Care, where I'm the nurse administrator. Once you call, if you leave a message, I'll be certain to get back to you. Our contacts there are 688 5322 or 3 or 4. And that's for those persons also that I put a drop in earlier. Coach Deborah, if you have not had your physicals for the year and you are in Grand Bahama, you need to have your annual physical done. Please give us a call there. We can arrange to have a complete physical done so you know what you're walking into the new year and the holidays with.
Yes, yes, yes. Please make sure you get those physicals. Mine is always done in November. So I have mine coming up.
Good.
Well, thank you so much for that information. And you said you did Being Easy on Yourself, and I can find that on Facebook still?
Yes, you can find that on Facebook. And it was specifically targeting the moms and wives that become overwhelmed with life's challenges and all the demands placed on us. So I think definitely you can relate to some of those things that I stated, but basically in a nutshell is be easy on yourself, because we have lots going on and the demands of the world can be consuming. And the focus is to raise happy, healthy children and to have a happy and healthy home.
Okay. And Therell, can you please give them that number again?
It's 688-5322, 3 or 4.
One more time, because you know some of us don't write so fast.
I know. 688-5322, 3 or 4. So it's 688 LFCC, Lucayan's Family Care.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. And before we close, I want to give a special shout out to Unique Couple sponsors and supporters on their behalf. Hair to Please, The Nail Creation by Anna, Party with Serenity, Style Me Pretty, Cornerstone Insurance, Build Your Best Life with Deborah D. Smith, Total Grace Solutions with Thaddeus and Amanda Randolph, and Lot Designs. And while I am talking, I just want to say that my website is www.buildyourbestlife.org. And our platform is unique to assist young men and mothers with sons to overcome those obstacles and build their best lives. So if you reach out to my website, you can reach all the information. We do live videos 3 times a week. I post on social media 3 times daily, Monday through Fridays. I have release a blog each Monday. I offer coaching, consultation, webinar speaking, and you can purchase an autographed copy of the book, Build Your Best Life. It is awesome. It gives basic principles to help you, assist you in overcoming obstacles. And if you're in the Bahamas, we do have books over on the ground. Contact Anastasia Smith. So thank you so much again, everyone, for tuning in. Don't forget that if you tuned in late, please go back and view the entire video. It was wonderful. Great, great, great information that will assist you and others. So make sure that you like and share. And Therell, we really want to say thank you for taking the time out to share with us this evening, because it was well worth everyone's time.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you. And we hope to see you soon.
Bye-bye.